It's no secret that Adventure Time is a pretty goofy, unserious show. It can look very childish at times, especially to a new viewer, so much so that the particular look of disappointment my dad gives me whenever he sees me watching it will be seared into my mind forever. But anyone who sticks with the show, even for just a few episodes, will notice something weird and mysterious lurking beneath the surface. There's some kind of darkness hiding in the land of Lu, even if it's not clear at first what it is. And then, he shows up.
Fall.
As the original pitch document for the show states, the Lich King is not funny. He is Adventure Time's most iconic villain, a being older than the world whose only goal is to wipe out all life. He's terrifying, powerful, and somehow no matter how many times he's defeated, he always comes back. But why is that? Why is it that the Lich never stays gone? Is it just plot convenience? Are the writers too lazy to come up with another villain? Or is there something deeper? Let's talk about why the Lich always returns, what he represents, and what it all actually means. To understand why the Lich always comes back, we have to talk about who or what he really is and where he came from. The Lich is an ancient being that has existed in the universe in some form or another for millions of years. It is heavily implied that he may actually be older than existence itself, and comes from a time when the empty universe was filled with nothing but monsters. In the episode The Lich, we learned that his essence was transformed in the aftermath of the Mushroom War, a catastrophic nuclear war that basically ended the old world. The Lich's physical form, as we see it throughout the show, was born from the impact of a devastating mutagenic bomb. He possessed an unknown human who had come in contact with mutagenic waste, fusing his essence with the body, which is what resulted in the disgusting decaying mess that we know as the Lich. But why was his essence on Earth in the first place? Well, it turns out the Lich hitched a ride on something arguably even more destructive than a mutagenic bomb, a catalyst comet. These comets crash into Earth every 1,000 years, bringing with them the cosmic forces that reshape the world. In this case, the force of change that the comet brought to Earth was the Lich, the embodiment of destruction. Since then, he's been lurking in the shadows of this world, tirelessly working towards the eventual destruction of absolutely everything. It isn't exactly confirmed with 100% certainty whether the Lich was actually created by the Catalyst Comet, or whether he existed a long time before the universe, and his essence was later contained in the comet and brought to Earth. To me, the latter option makes a lot more sense, honestly. I feel like it is pretty heavily implied, and also it's just way cooler from a lore perspective, so that's the version of events that I choose to believe. Another core aspect of the Lich is that he fancies himself as a Scholar of Golb, who is a cosmic entity in the Adventure Time universe. Golb is essentially the personification of disorder and chaos, and as a Scholar of Golb, the Lich believes that his mission is to honor his master with death and destruction, and he has a real cultish devotion about it. This is a side of his character that has always fascinated me, since it really separates the Lich from the standard power-hungry, self-serving model of what an antagonist should be. Whereas most villains work to win, to get something for themselves, the Lich doesn't function like that. He is devoted to a higher power, and all he wants to do is fulfill what he believes to be his god's desire, no matter the efforts needed or the toll it may take on him.
For ages untold, I studied your ways, devoting my existence to you.
He is willing to do anything, sacrifice anything, wait any amount of time, but his mission will be complete. In some ways, his entire character is that mission. He's not evil in the goofy Ice King way, or even the unhinged Magic Man way.
Magic!
He's evil like a black hole is evil. He just is, an unstoppable force of entropy. He doesn't want money, admiration, or fame. He doesn't want revenge. He wants chaos and devastation. He wants everything to end. That is why the Lich, by his very nature, is basically impossible to get rid of. How can he be killed when he's practically synonymous with death? If he is the end, how can anybody hope to put an end to him? But the thing is, the Lich does get defeated. Multiple times. A lot of times, actually. So how and why does he keep coming back? Let's walk through a few of his supposed ends. The first time that we learn about the Lich in the show, Princess Bubblegum tells Finn and Jake that he was defeated by Billy, who kicked him square in the cheeks and trapped him in amber. Except that the Lich very quickly finds a way to escape by possessing a snail and manipulating it into breaking him out. What we see here quickly becomes a pattern. The Lich can sniff out any opportunity, no matter how small, and even if the odds are infinitely tiny, he will eventually leverage that opportunity for his own survival, or even revival. Thankfully, Finn ends up defeating the Lich with the power of
liking someone a lot.
But this isn't even close to the end of his story. A few seasons later, the Lich is back again. In one of the most mind-blowing moments of the show, Finn and Jake follow the Lich into a portal to the multiverse, ending up in Prismo's wish room. The Lich is there to wish for the destruction of everything. Honestly, it's getting a little bit old at this point, but he's foiled once again by Finn and Jake. After spending a while frozen as a creepy party decoration in Prismo's wish room, he straight up murders Prismo in a way that's truly messed up for a Cartoon Network show. On top of that, he does this while wearing Billy's actual decaying corpse. The writers really don't pull their punches with the Lich at all. He does all this to get himself purposefully trapped in the Crystal Citadel, the most secure prison in the Adventure Time universe. After arriving at the prison, the Lich releases a bunch of weird monsters that he calls Ancients, but before he can escape, Finn hits him with some regenerative goop. Once again, it seems like the Lich has finally been defeated. And yet, instead of dying, the Lich emerges once again as a baby. Yeah, a baby named Sweet Pea. He becomes an actual massive baby with horns and chubby cheeks. And for a while everything seems completely fine. Finn and Jake even find him a home with Tree Trunks and Mr. Pig, who raise him as if he was their very own ginormous demon child. But in the episode Whispers, we find out that the Lich is still in there, manipulating Sweet Pea while he sleeps.
That vessel may appear harmless, but he came from me. Once I remind him of his legacy, the Lich shall reign once more.
Evil!
This time, he's defeated by Sweet Pea, who resists his manipulation, proving the Lich wrong, at least for now.
Hooray!
Many years later, in the Distant Lands special Together Again, Finn and Jake are reunited in the afterlife. And guess who's back again?
Yoink!
Finally dead, aren't you, child?
This time around, the Lich is stronger than ever and somehow possesses the Son of Death itself, manipulating him to kill the original Death and take his place. This grants the Lich control of the Dead Worlds, an insane multi-layered system of different dimensions inhabited by the souls of the dead. His goal with this whole maneuver was the same as it always is, destroy everything, blah blah blah, except this time he approaches it from a different angle. He tries to completely destroy the afterlife and end the cycle of reincarnation, thereby extinguishing every dead soul in the universe in one fell swoop. It takes the combined powers of Finn, Jake, and life itself to stop him. And Mr. Fox. It's honestly hard to find a character in this universe who hasn't vanquished the Lich. At first it seems like he may finally be gone, erased forever, but even here you get the sense that he's not truly defeated, more like momentarily stamped out.
You've taken the crown, but without a strong right hand. Get out of here!
Finally, we get to the most terrifying version of the Lich in the entire franchise. In the Fiona and Cake spin-off, our heroes stumble into a post-apocalyptic timeline, one where the Lich has already won. There's no one left, just bones, ruins, and the Lich, sitting there with the same eerie detachment he always had. This is what he wants, a silent, lifeless universe. And in that reality, he got it. It's a haunting reminder that even if he loses in one world, he's still out there somewhere else, winning. They end up in Golbetti's dimension along with the Lich, who starts praying to Golb, the deity he dedicated his life to, the whole reason for his quest to wipe out all life, finally complete after so long. But ultimately, the Chaos God doesn't seem to care about his big triumph at all. The Lich prays and pleads, but Golbetti proceeds to turn him into one of the lifeless blocks floating around her lair, without even a hint of emotion or remorse. And he's gone again, as if nothing ever happened. I think there's such an amazing absurdity to this moment. The show doesn't explain why Golb does this, and it really doesn't have to either. Golb is a being of pure chaos after all, but it is fun to speculate. Maybe it killed the Lich because he was trying to apply order and reason to Golb, which is inherently antithetical to it since it is disorder personified. Maybe the Lich was simply wrong. By extinguishing life in his universe, he brought a complete stillness, a total order, which may have displeased Golb as an entity that embodies chaos. But my favorite theory is that Golb was simply answering the Lich's prayer. He wanted the end of everything, and that is exactly what he got. And so, one final time, it seems like the Lich is gone for good. But who's to say he can't come back from this in the next season of Fiona and Cake, or one of the other upcoming spin-offs? He's done it before. I didn't even have time to list all of his numerous returns in this video. But let's think a bit deeper for a second. Why does the Lich always come back? On one level, sure, it's a cartoon. The villain returns because you need conflict. But Adventure Time doesn't really work like that. This show ends arcs, it evolves, characters grow up, whole timelines get rewritten. It's not afraid to move forward. The show's entire nature is about change. But the Lich seems to be the one unflinching constant, so his return must mean something more. The thing about the Lich is that he is not a regular villain. He's something like a force of nature, or a concept. He represents entropy, decay, death. That can't be defeated once and for all because it's part of reality. The Lich always comes back because death always comes back. Time marches forward and things fall apart. That's just the deal. The Lich is part of the cosmic cycle. Remember those comets? They don't just bring destruction, they bring change. Finn is tied to a comet, so is the Lich. They're like opposite sides of the same coin. Creation and destruction, death and rebirth. They both keep returning because they're part of a cycle, and you can't have one without the other. The Lich isn't just an integral part of this world, he's part of everyone in it. When the Lich gets turned into Sweet Pea, it's not just a plot twist, it's a statement about his very nature, and the nature of the show as a whole. Evil isn't always a monster you fight. Sometimes it's inside you, lurking, whispering, waiting for a moment of weakness. That's what makes the Lich so scary. He's not just out there, he's in here. So let's get philosophical for a minute. Adventure Time is full of difficult existential questions. What does it mean to grow up? How do we cope with grief? Can people change? And the Lich fits right into that. He's the fear of the end, the anxiety that everything we build, everything we love, will eventually fall apart. He's the voice that says, why bother? And Finn is the antithesis to all of that.
It's too late, buddy. It's out of our hands.
Scrub that! I'm gonna use these hands to sock him in the chops! In the chops!
Because Finn refuses to give up. He goes through a lot in this show and he gets hurt over and over. Life wallops this kid like he owes it money. But Finn keeps trying. He keeps doing his thing. Even when he's in unimaginable pain, physical or emotional, he never gives up. In that way, the Lich always comes back because that fear always comes back. But Finn, and what he represents, hope, growth, and compassion, comes back too. And to me, that is one of the ideas at the core of Adventure Time that makes it such a special show. It doesn't pretend you can kill darkness forever, but it shows you can fight it again and again. So why does the Lich always come back? Because he has to. Because he's part of the world. Not only the world of the show, but our world too. Because the Lich, and the existential dread he represents, is an end. It's an eventuality that we can never win against.
You've bested me in many worlds, child, but I always return.
But Adventure Time teaches us that life isn't about winning once and for all. It's about going on, trying to win as many battles as you can, even if you know that in the end you're going to lose the war. What could be more quintessential to the human experience than that?
Aren't you cold?
No, I'm not! I've got a sweater on!
Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what you thought in the comments. This is my first ever video, and I'm still trying to figure out a direction for this channel, so let me know what you guys would like to hear me talk about next. I'd love to hear what shows you're interested in as well. I'm planning to talk about a lot of different shows, including more Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Regular Show, Gumball, The Owl House, and a lot of others. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And thanks again for watching, and see you next time.